Sarah Lair here. Good morning, everyone. So we're going to start in just a few minutes, but before we do, I just wanted to remind you all that that I teach, what classes I teach. I'm teaching chair yoga at Dunnigan Y MCA right now, and my normal class time is Thursdays at it's been a while, 11:15 to 12. So I'd love for you to come join me if you're ever around on Thursdays, 11:15 to 12. Otherwise, we have several other amazing chair yoga instructors. We have Maria has a class on Monday. I believe it's at 10. Brooke teaches on Wednesdays, 11:15 to 12. And then on Fridays, Maria teaches on Fridays at 10, and Amy Quick teaches on Monday. Sorry about that. So lots of great options for you to find chair yoga at our Dunnigan branch. I know we've got a couple times at our downtown branch. I'm not sure what times they are. I apologize for that. But right now, while we're all at home, I'm happy to have you here with me at 10 o'clock on Tuesday mornings joining us. So we'll go ahead and get started here in a minute. So just like last week, all you need is a chair. I've got a little folding chair. You can use a kitchen chair, whatever you want. I do have a mat placed down because I have my chair on some hardwood floor, and I just don't want it to scratch. So hi Jessica. We'll get started here in a moment, but for those of you that are new to chair yoga is simply a form of yoga that you can do. It's great for anyone who is new to yoga to learn the poses. It's great to modify the poses. In yoga and chair yoga, we don't go all the way to the ground. I'll give you an option at the end of class if you would like to. Some people like to have their savasana on the ground, but typically we don't come all the way down to the ground. Hi, Fran. Whenever we're doing our chair yoga poses. So usually we'll start seated. I like to start my class with some seated breath work. Then we move our way and some warm-ups. Then we move on up to standing. We'll do some standing positions and some balance, and then we'll come back to the chair for some stretching to cool down. So typically our classes, if I haven't mentioned before, our chair yoga classes are usually 45 minutes at the YMCA. But today we're going to be doing 30-minute classes here. So just a short condensed version. We'll get through some of the things. We might not be able to hold the stretches as long as we typically would, but you'll kind of get an idea. It's something you can, if you can't watch right now live, you can go back and you can watch this recording later and practice at home at your own time, or you can practice it a couple times a week. Now you'll have 2 videos to mix it up with. So let's go ahead and get started here. So first of all, you're just going to come back into your seat. Find a comfortable position. So maybe you sit back, relax back. Hands can relax to your lap. Maybe they relax, bringing your hands to your heart. Or maybe they just fall to your side. So finding what feels right to you. Let your eyes close a moment here. As we settle back into our seat, I want you to clear the mind and just focus in on you. Giving these next 30 minutes just to better yourselves, bring your body some peace and stillness and calmness. We'll slowly turn our focus in toward our breath. So in yoga, we want to try to breathe in and out through our nose. Now sometimes that's not completely possible, but doing our best, inhaling through the nose, try to lengthen that breath and slow it down a little bit here. So long, slow, steady breath in through the nose, maybe for 3 or 4 seconds. And then same thing as you exhale, long, slow, steady breath out through the nose. Let's try it again. Deep breath in. And out. slow, steady breath in. And out. Awesome. Great breathing. Let's try to continue that pace of breath throughout our class today. So continuing that inhale, let's go ahead, maybe sit up a little bit. So if you're back at the back of the chair, we'll scoot up about halfway to the chair. So feet are flat to the earth. Hands can relax to the knees. We're going to inhale, warm up the shoulders a little bit. Inhale, pull the shoulders up. Exhale as you roll them back and down. Good. Inhale, pull them up. Exhale as you roll them back and down. 2 more. Last one. Very nice. All right, with those shoulders on that last roll up, we're going to roll them back into place, sitting up tall with a nice posture here. Let's warm up the neck a little bit. So we're first going to turn our gaze to the right. So imagine that you have a pencil attached to your nose. You're going to turn your gaze to the right, and you're going to write your name with that pencil. So first and last name. So this just helps to warm up some of those little muscles in the neck here. And then when you're done, bring your gaze back to center. Let your chin fall down towards your chest. We'll hold here for a few breaths. Letting everyone catch up so we're all on the same page. Good. When you're ready, inhale, bring the gaze up. This time turning to the left. And write your first and last name here in cursive. And when you're done, gaze will come back to center. You'll let your chin drop down towards your chest. Let's take one more round of breath here. Bring the gaze back ahead. We'll move into some cat-cow breath now. So warming up through the spine. We're going to bring the hands, let them rest on the thighs here. Rest on the lap. Feet are to the earth, hips width apart. So as we move into our cow pose, you want to inhale. Think about leaning forward with your chin and slowly starting to bring it up a little higher. So you'll feel that arch through your back. As you exhale, rounding the spine, one vertebrae at a time, bringing the chin back toward the chest. Good. And inhale forward to cow, dropping the belly, letting the gaze turn up as much as you're ready to take it. And then exhale, round the spine opposite direction, pulling the chin back toward the chest. Good. Taking a few more rounds here, we're going to move at our own pace. Inhale forward, exhale, round through the spine, tucking the chin. One more here. After that last exhale, slowly round the spine up. Nice, tall vertebrae, stacking them on top of each other one at a time, shoulders rounded back. Good, very nice. All right, from here, we're gonna move into something called a seated sun salutation. So we're gonna add a little bit of movement, but before we do that, let's add a little movement, finish those last two movements through the spine. So we moved the back forward and back. We're gonna move it side to side, and then we're gonna add some twists. Those are 6 movements of our spine. So today, last week we held our stretches. Today we're gonna add a little bit of movement with our stretches. So start with the arms to the side, take a deep breath in, reach up overhead, palms come together, exhale, hands down to the heart. A couple more times here, inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Now gaze can stay straight ahead, or maybe as you inhale, maybe the gaze turns up, and you exhale, hands down to the heart. Last one. Good. This time, reach the arms up overhead. Pause here. Let the right hand come down to the left knee. Left hand will come behind or to the chair. Inhale, reach up, back to center. Exhale, switch. Left hand comes to the right knee. Right hand comes back toward the chair. Again. Inhale. Exhale, twist. Inhale up. And twist. One more time to each side here. Now, hands back to heart center. From here, right hand comes down to the side of the chair. Left arm reaches up and over. Seated side stretch. Inhale, back through center, switch hands. Exhale, reach the left arm up and over. Back through center as you inhale. Exhale, left arm up and over this time. Keep going. And this time all the way back to center. Good job. All right, so from here we'll come into that seated half sun salutation now that we're warmed up a little bit more. So again, we've got those feet grounded. You're probably at the middle part of your chair. You might be scooted up a little bit closer toward the edge of your chair. Just kind of depends. You want to make sure that your thighs are parallel. So if you're like me and you have a little bit shorter legs, you might have to scoot all the way up toward that edge of the chair. So let's start here, arms to the side. We'll take a deep breath. We'll reach the arms up overhead. As we exhale, we'll come to a fold. Now, our forward fold can look very different for many people. Lots of options. Hands can relax to the lap, and you can let the gaze fall down. Maybe you come a little deeper. Let the arms drop down to the thighs. Or maybe your hands can reach all the way down towards your ankles, or blocks if you have blocks set up. Or maybe hands reach down toward the earth. So finding what works for you. Come to your fold and let's take a few breaths here. So wherever you're at in your fold, let your head relax toward the earth and take a few breaths. Perfect. On that next inhale, we're going to bring ourselves to a half lift. So in half lift, you want to bring the back nice and flat. You want to bring the head above heart level. And then you're going to exhale back to your fold. Take a deep breath in as you rise up tall. Reach the arms up overhead and exhale them down to the heart. All right, so that was a modified version of our half sun salutation. We're going to take it at a normal pace here. So, as we inhale, reach up tall. Exhale, fold. Remember any variation here. As you inhale, flat back. Bringing the head above heart. And exhale back to your fold. Deep inhale as you rise up tall. And exhale, hands to the heart. Let's try it again. Inhale, reach up tall. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Flat back with the head above heart. Exhale, fold. And deep breath in as we rise up tall. Exhale, hands to the heart. Take a round of breath here. Maybe a couple rounds of breath. Grab some water if you have it, if you need it. And then from here, we're going to move into a standing variation. So coming up behind your chair. And today, we're going to start with Warrior One. So Warrior One is a little different from our standing pose that we did last week with Crescent. So I'm going to move the chair just so you can see my feet. In our Crescent pose, both toes were facing forward, both hips were facing forward, and we just simply step back with that right foot. Now in our Warrior One, very similar, but you're going to take your right foot back and then let it come slightly toward that right corner of the mat, drop your heel. So when doing so, both hips are still facing forward. That left toe is facing forward, but now your right toe is facing about 1 o'clock on your mat. So I'm going to bring this chair back in front of me. Hands can be at the chair. Maybe you bring the right hand to the heart or up overhead. If you're feeling comfortable here with your balance, both hands can come to the heart or overhead. So again, both hips facing forward. We've got a little bend in that left knee. Left toe is facing forward. The right toe is facing about 1 o'clock. So wherever your variation is, let's find that pose. And take a few rounds of breath here. Gaze can always stay straight ahead. If you want that back bend, slight back bend, maybe the gaze turns up a little bit here. From here, we're going to add a little bit more movement. As we inhale, think about reaching the arms up. Exhale, sweep them down and back. Inhale, take them up. Exhale, sweep. So if you've got one hand in the chair, you can just do one arm at a time. Inhale it up. Exhale, bring it down and back. Options here. You can stay nice and tall, or if you want a little more challenge, as you exhale, let your chest tip forward at an angle. Inhale, take it up. One more round here. Good. Now, we're going to bring the hands to the lower back. So I'm going to turn around so you can see. So hands can be placed to the lower back, or you can always clasp them here. So what we're doing is we're opening up through the shoulders, opening up through the heart. Take a few breaths here. Good. Slowly release the arms. You can bring both hands back to the chair. From here, we're going to make our way into triangle. So go ahead, let both legs straighten. I'm going to remove the chair so you can see a little better. So with both legs straight, we're going to turn our hips now to the right side of your mat. We've got the left toe facing forward. Now that right foot is slightly turned in. So the back foot is almost parallel to the back of the mat, but the toes are slightly turned inward, still facing about 1 o'clock. Maybe more like 2 o'clock now. Then we're going to think about sitting back into that right hip. Left hand can stay at the chair. Right arm's going to reach straight up. So your right palm and your hips are facing that right corner of the right side of the mat. Take a deep breath in. Slowly start to tip forward toward the chair. So you're feeling this on the left inner thigh muscle. You're feeling it. You should be feeling it in those right obliques. You can even remove that hand from the chair. Just let the fingertips rest at the seat of the chair here. if you want a little bit more work. Take a deep breath in as we slowly rise up. We're going to slowly pivot back to the front of the chair and step that back foot forward. Go ahead and shake the legs out a little bit. And then when you're ready, we'll reset to the opposite side. So stepping the left foot back to warrior one now. Remember, we're going to take it back and a little bit toward that left back corner of the mat, letting the heel drop. So now right toes are facing forward, hips are facing forward. That left toe is facing about 11 o'clock here. You can take one hand to the heart, overhead. Maybe both arms are ready to come up to the heart or overhead. Remember, gaze can stay straight ahead, or you can turn that gaze up for a little bit of a back bend here. Let's add some movement. On our inhale, we're reaching up. On our exhale, hands sweep down and back. Remember, that hand can stay to the chair, right hand can stay to the chair here. Inhale it up. Exhale, sweep it down and back. Chest can stay nice and tall as we exhale the arms down by our side, and then inhale, reach them up, or maybe you add that slight tip forward to give yourself a little more of a challenge this morning. Last one. Good. From here, hands will fall down to that lower back, opening the shoulders wide, or you can always clasp the hands here. Again, gaze can stay straight ahead or turn up. Deep inhale, release the hands. We'll set up for triangle. So let both legs straighten. We're going to turn the hips. So now we've got right toes facing the front of the mat. Hips are facing the left side of the mat. And that back foot is almost parallel. Toes are slightly turned in. So we'll think about sitting back into the left hip. As the right hand stays to the chair, left arm's going to reach up overhead. Take a deep breath in. Slowly tipping the shoulders toward the chair. So I'm going to turn this way so you can see what's going on here. It looks something like this. So feeling it right here and here. Let's take one more breath here. And when you're ready, inhale, release. Slowly pivot back to the front of the mat. Step that back foot forward. All right, so before moving on, let's go ahead and take a downward dog. So remember, in our downward dog, we've got our hands to our chairs. We're going to keep the arms nice and long. Just walk the feet back. So walking the feet back as far as you can go, letting the pressing back into the hips. Making a long line through the body here. The head will relax towards the earth. Now, if you have any lower back issues or if your hamstrings are tight, give your knees a little bend here. And just let the head and chest fall toward the earth. You can always walk the hands down a little further to the seat of the chair if you would like. Let's take one more round of breath here. And then deep breath in as we slowly start to rise up. Can be nice and tall. We'll take a round of breath. Good. Let's go ahead and move into a balancing pose. So I will step the chair off to my left. I'm going to start with my balancing pose. I'm going to ground down the right foot today, or sorry, the left foot. So pressing the left foot into the earth, I've got my chair toward my left hand. We're coming into warrior 3 or airplane. So bringing the opposite arm, the free hand, is going to come to the side. Left foot's grounded. Bring your right toe back behind you. Try and keep a nice straight line from your shoulders down to your toes. So I'll turn to the side so you can see. So we've got a nice straight line here. Now this is a very good beginning position for warrior 3. This is your balance with the back toe resting to the earth. If you want to take it a little deeper, what you can do is slowly start to tip the chest forward as you bring that back foot up. So notice my body still stays in one line, not rounding like this. So as the chest comes forward, the leg comes up. So maybe you're right here today. Maybe you can take it a little deeper, tipping forward. As you do come forward, you also want to make sure that the hips stay in line. So make sure you're not turning out that hip. So let's take one more breath here. Maybe you can release that opposite hand and both arms are back. And slowly release. Shake the legs out. Reset. So bringing the chair to the opposite side, we'll do the same thing now. On the opposite leg, we're grounding down the right foot. Right hand comes to the chair. Your free hand will just come to the side with the palm facing forward. Think about a nice tall posture. When you're ready, you can slowly take the left toe back to the earth, finding a long straight line, and then you can stay here, or you can take it to where your challenge is today. Maybe your challenge is here, maybe you can tip forward a little further. So finding what works for you this morning. Finding a focal point to stare at on the floor can always help. Keep that long, slow, steady breath going. We'll take one more breath here and slowly start to release it down. Let the legs shake out. Then when you're ready, we'll come back to a seated position at our chair. All right, so let's come up about halfway up on that, either halfway or to the edge of your chair. Now, we're gonna come into a seated eagle pose. So in our eagle, we're gonna cross, you can do it standing, but today we're gonna do it seated. And we're gonna get that benefit of the nice shoulder stretch, a little more shoulder stretching here. We're gonna cross right ankle over the left. Now when doing so, you wanna think about trying to keep the legs together. So squeezing the thighs nice and tight. And you can cross the ankles, or you can bring that right leg over the left leg. Whatever works for you. I'm just gonna stay at my ankles this morning. So from here, you're just gonna take your left arm up, right arm's gonna come across and in front. Lots of options for the arms here, because a lot of us have tight shoulders, some of us are a little more open. So the first option is to bring the hands back toward the shoulders here. Give yourself a nice little stretch. You can always bring the backs of the hands to touch. Or some of you may be able to wrap the arms, bringing the palms together. Wherever you're at, we're going to hold this pose for a few breaths. On your next inhale, deep breath as we release the arms down to the side. Go ahead and keep the legs where they're at. So either crossed at the ankle or crossed at the knee. And then we're going to come into a seated twist. Let's take our gaze So nice and tall. Hands can be at the heart as we take your gaze off to the right. Maybe the hands drop down to the knee in the chair if you're ready to take that twist a little deeper here. On your next inhale, let's slowly come back to center. Now from here, we'll come into our figure four. So we're gonna take, ankles can stay crossed. You can just open up, let that right knee drop to the side. Maybe your hand gently press that knee away. Another option is to take that right ankle over the left knee. Now, you can stay right here. You'll probably feel a little bit of a deeper stretch in that hip. You can always add a gentle press with that right hand. Or you can keep your back nice and flat and fold forward from the hips. Now you may not be able to come all the way forward. It's probably going to be just a little bit of a tip forward here. One more breath. And slowly release. This class goes by really fast. All right, let's switch sides here. We're gonna take left ankle over right now, or left leg over right, whichever variation you prefer. Either way, you're gonna squeeze the thighs together. Let's take the right arm up first, left arm will come on top. Again, you can stay here, here, back of the hands, or you can wrap. Wherever you're at, let's hold 3 breaths. Think about sitting nice and tall. Next inhale, slowly release. We're going to come into that twist, so hands can stay to the heart. Stay nice and tall through the spine. We'll twist off to the left. You can always drop the hands down to the chair here if you like to deepen that twist. Next inhale, let's slowly come back to center, and we'll find that figure 4. So again, ankles can be crossed. Just let that left knee open up to the side to open up through the hip. Maybe you'd add a gentle press here, or a tip forward, or if you want to take it a little deeper and the hips allow, left ankle can cross over right knee. You can stay nice and tall here, add a gentle press, or a little bit of a flat back as you tip forward. Deep inhale here as we slowly start to release. And crossing at the ankle. Now we'll move into our seated relaxation, our final pose here. So again, you can come all the way back in your chair, relaxing back, letting the hands relax to your lap. Maybe they relax to your heart. Some of you might enjoy bringing one foot or both feet up to more of an easy pose here in your chair. Or if you want to come down onto your back, you can come onto your back and bring the feet up to the chair for a little bit of a waterfall. So taking this time to let the eyes close, let the breath soften, and finding some peace here. Finding some relaxation through the fingers, the toes, relaxing the shoulder, unclenching the jaw, and just taking a few deep breaths. Our reading today is entitled Positive Attitude. A strong positive mental attitude will create more miracles than any wonder drug. Patricia Neal. We don't understand entirely why positive thoughts impact our bodies in positive ways. We just know that they do. Research has shown that people who are sick improve more quickly when they have a positive attitude rather than a negative attitude. And we all know the power of a placebo effect. The positive attitude by itself may not cure an illness, but at the very least, it helps us cope better. If a positive attitude can help us when we're sick, how might it benefit us when we're not sick? I can face whatever comes today with a positive attitude. Let's slowly start to find some more awareness back into your body. Maybe taking a deep breath in and sighing it out. Maybe finding movement through the body. And eventually blinking the eyes open and bringing the hands back to the heart. I'd like to thank you all so much for taking time this morning to come and join me for some chair yoga. And I'd like to thank you so much for taking time for yourselves. It's with great respect. Namaste. Thank you all again. I hope to see you next week, next Tuesday. We will have a lot more classes throughout the day, a couple more classes. So I hope you can join in then. Just want to give a shout out. Hi, Lauren, Beth, LaDonna, Mike, Donna, and Sandra. Thank you all so much for joining me. And thank you for those of you who are watching later as the video is posted on the YMCA of Southwestern Indiana page. You can go to the video link and all the videos that we have been taping will be there so you can practice those over again if you would like. Have a wonderful day and stay well.